14th Sunday of Ordinary Time. Welcome back to Ordinary Time, from now until Advent. So it's the 14th Sunday. We've been through solemnities and Easter time and everything. And so the gospel opens the sending time. Jesus is sending 72 assistants, disciples, in pairs. And it's very interesting in the gospel. He sends 2 by 2 to places where he himself will visit after they have visited. So they are not the harvesters, they are the planters. And there is that sense that the harvest is plenty, but laborers are few. He only has 72. So he's preparing the farm, the fields, for his visit and his call. The first reading is really beautiful. It's a poem, in a way, comforting the people who have been separated from Jerusalem. You're coming back. There's some beautiful motherly images of comfort and nourishment and embrace for the people returning to the holy motherly city of Jerusalem. So I would invite you to spend time there, because that's our comfort too. The gospel then is the sending. And of course, we hear often in the liturgies, and especially the Eucharist, that we are sent. And I was praying with this myself. The rest of this chapter, we're going to have 2 more stories from this chapter 10 of Luke's Gospel, the next 2 Sundays. And it's really about, I'd like to offer this. Call, opportunities, asks us, as with the apostles, not to be selective. That is, he's saying you got to let go of your money, anything you rely on. So you've got to be independent from what you provide and dependent on what he's going to give you to do. And you're going to be sent out. And we don't like to do things, it's a real fear. What if I'm not popular? What if I'm not accepted? And he says, I'm sending you out like lambs among wolves. That's a conflict. That's a dislike. I'm sending you to an atmosphere of dislike. So we don't like that. But what else, what might we fear, or what would be a reason not to want to distribute the presence of Jesus? I came up with the word inconvenience. That siren out there that you hear, that's an inconvenience. Losing something, being bothered. There was a practice in my early Jesuit formation called modesty of the eyes. And if there was a noise, you don't nosy, to let things just be and not have to know, what was that? I would talk about modesty of the heart is a way of not being selective, responding to, but being invited. But to be invited is to check what would prevent you from saying yes. I love those. I love it in my own life. Can I have an excuse? And a lot of it is inconvenience. I don't have the time. I'm afraid I won't be adequate. I have to sign out a car. I have to get a driver. I have to make sure I have clean clothes. I have all kinds of inconveniences. And Jesus sends these 72 to face inconvenience, the inconvenience of not being popular. But the modesty of the heart, the modesty of the mind, can I be available? We have a phrase in the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius, never be deaf to his call. And then, of course, what is his call? And can I hear a call and come up with a good excuse which would invalidate the call? So the invitation, I think, at least in this homily, and I prayed with this myself, I love to know my excuses. I love to know fears. And then I love to go against them. And I call that modesty of the mind. I don't have to know what's going to be given, what's going to be taken, what's going to be the setting. Will I have something to say? He says, don't take all your conveniences. Don't take your money bag, he says. Be dependent on me to give you something to give. Not out of your richness, but out of your poverty. You say, well, I can't give anything out of my poverty. That's the perfect phrase, spirit, to say you will have to give me what I am going to do. This morning I had to give a homily at a funeral, and I was wordless. I mean, I didn't know, was I saying the right thing? Was I a help to the community? I don't know. And I took my bag of nothing. Give me, Lord, words, ideas, thoughts, pictures. That's hard to do. And I prepared, but right before I started speaking, I said, you give me the words, bless the words that I have prepared. And I showed up. Maybe it sums up this way. It takes humility to be surprised. The wealthy, proud person, the controller, I've got to do it right. No, showing up is how I'm being right. It takes humility to be poor enough to be surprised. Letting him give something to me and through me that in a way is not mine, but something he gives me. This is our spirituality. It goes against our cultural psychology that says, you better be adequate in everything you do. Otherwise, yes. And then you're like a lamb eaten up by the wolves of discard, rejection. I didn't come to be accepted. I came to be a presence. And what I do, I prepare, not that I am the second coming, I am preparing for his coming. He comes to us in the Eucharist. For distribution. It's The modesty of the heart is open, not selective. Available, not predictable.